Hi, I'm Shaun Reynolds.
And I'm Rachael Reynolds.
And welcome to What Was I Made For?
The podcast about doing what you love and prioritising your happiness.
While we aim to inspire, motivate and entertain you, please note that we're not licensed therapists or certified experts.
So if you're considering major life decisions like starting a llama farm or quitting your job to become a professional skydiving instructor, maybe get a second opinion.
Enjoy the show.
See, I just do what I want, do what I love. I don't want to stop, don't want to grow up. Just me being me, don't follow the crowd. Don't be a sheep, look at me now. But now it's time to make more, create more. Looking at the points cause it's time to take score. Feeling like I'm grown now that I can face more. Got one question, what was I made for?
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
Back, everyone.
Welcome. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. That confused me.
Why?
Because it's Friday.
So today is just another episode with the three of us.
The three of us.
I'm hoping you can see Nala's little face right now if you're watching on YouTube.
She'll probably vocalise herself at some point, I'm sure.
She'll also disappear and just do what she wants to do as well.
She's an independent woman.
Yes, she is.
All the ladies who independent, throw your paws up at me.
Yeah, so we've got some questions and some fun stuff to go through today. Some lovely questions and comments from our socials. And I don't think we've got any emails. Not a lot of people email these days. It's
a bit old school,
It's all Instagram nowadays. Lala, don't you dare ruin my shot.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you can see her right there. She's creeping in.
Anyway, how's your week been, Shaun? So far.
My week has been good. Busy, as always. But
we should talk about what you've been doing at the school this week. Not for the last couple of weeks.
Getting involved with my first ever bout of teaching.
You've been a teacher this week.
I have. And last week.
How have you found it?
Up and down.
The difference between, I think it goes to show why you probably will never be a full-time teacher.
Well, no, I love it, right? I do love it. But I think the first week...
The kids have loved it
The
as
kids
well.
have loved it, yeah. The first week I had, they were all there, which helped.
Yeah. So just for a bit of context, you are basically coming in to teach a select few children how to mime.
Yeah, well, I have a speciality, right? I have a speciality that is rooted in my YouTube days where I just, I know how to mime playing instruments. So my expertise come in very handy.
And we are doing a number in the show from School of Rock where we need a few of the kids to look like
they're playing the instruments.
They are playing the instruments.
Although they're playing to track, I think that you're having real singers though, right? The voices are live.
Oh yeah, all the voices will be live.
Voices are live, but the instruments... I mean, these kids have never played instruments in their life. Well, some of them have dabbled, but they don't know, they can't play the level that is required to actually play those songs. So they just have to look like they can play, which is a feat in itself, especially for the ones that have never even touched a musical instrument.
And they are smashing it. Under your guidance, they are doing so well.
And Joe.
And Joe's guidance, yeah. I think it just goes, what cracked me up is when you're a teacher... no matter what else you have going on, it's unfair. I think to be a good teacher, it's unfair to kind of like let your day-to-day stresses, or if you've just had a really bad day before you turn up to class, you can't let that impact on the class.
Yeah.
And I think you've been in like an amazing mood some days where you've come in to teach them. And then there was one day last week where you were gone for a much shorter amount of time with these group of kids, and you came back.
Oh God.
Be careful. Oh my God.
If you didn't see that, Nala almost fell backwards off her chair. So
I'm covered in hair now.
That's another treat for the YouTube watchers.
Anyway, you've come back into the room some days and you've been out there so long that I'm like, oh my God, what have you been doing? And it's like, oh, we were on a roll. It was so good. And then you've come in other days after a very short amount of time. And I've looked at you and gone, oh, are you done already? And you just looked at me and like slowly nodded. You have to go. If you're going to be in here, you have to go to sleep, okay? Listen, this is now part of our job. And if you're going to be in here with us, you have to go to sleep.
I know you want everything to be about you at all times, but this is not the Nala podcast, okay? All right, just lick your bits. That's fine. I think what happened is, one of the most important members of the band wasn't there on Wednesday, so that made it very difficult for the others who are already like it's easier to mime guitar, bass, and keyboard is a lot easier than miming to play drums, because with the drums you kind of have to be hitting the right drums, whereas guitar you can kind of just do whatever.
But in all joking aside, I think you've been amazing with them.
It's been something new, and this is what we always say on this podcast. It's always good to try new things and just see how you feel about it. And I think I mentioned quite a few times in my episode that I've never really been keen on teaching, but over the past few months, I've definitely been mentoring, I think, more.
Yeah.
That's probably what I've been doing more, is mentoring, but this is my last couple of weeks has been my first attempt at actual proper teaching a group of kids.
And I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, and they've had
really
fun.
Loved
We've all
it.
had fun, to be honest. It's been great fun.
So you've had a good week.
It's been good.
Music, all good?
Music's great. Just lots of projects. We're actually working on Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
which is very bizarre.
Weird hearing a lot of Christmas songs.
So for anyone that doesn't know,
come on.
I make a lot of music for TV and film, and this is getting to the time of year now where all the Christmas movies and TV shows, all the music for that is getting pitched.
Yeah.
So you have to, if you're making projects for Christmas, you have to submit them by the latest June, really. It's weird doing Christmas songs in spring/early summer, but hey, that's the job.
It is. It is weird though, because I feel like it's not even summer yet. I mean, we've been waiting long enough, but
I know. It still feels like winter though.
We're
so that's
listening
good.
to the 12 Days of Christmas and all the other ones.
First Noel.
She's really, really needy.
Nala. Thank you. You're showing us up today.
And look at my trousers
Look
now.
at the sass on it. How's your week been?
Probably a little bit stressful. The stress level's definitely ramped up a little bit this week. I feel like deadlines are fast approaching, and it's if anyone's ever planned a wedding, this is the only thing.
I'd say this is even more complex.
Potentially, I don't want to put down people's weddings. Like we planned.
What do you mean put down people's weddings?
No, because I think we were a different kettle of fish when it came to our wedding. Every wedding I've been to, right? It gets to the groom's speech and the groom will go, first of all, everybody, can we just have a look around right now? And can we raise a glass to my wife who has organised all of this? This is all her work. I can't take any credit to her. I might as well have said that about our wedding because you did more than I did.
You actually said you wish I was a bit more like a stereotypical husband.
There were points where I thought, do you need to have an opinion on the neckline of my dress? I'm not sure.
Well, there was no point in me having an opinion on that
I did
because
exactly
you went completely opposite and
Rachel,
did exactly what I didn't want.
Shaun, if you could, I'm not going to tell you anything about my dress, but if you could give like one thing.
And these are the questions that you shouldn't ask, because I wouldn't have. I thought you looked amazing on our wedding day, but because you'd asked me my opinion, I'd probably said I wouldn't have personally chosen the thing that you ended up choosing.
So what did you say to me?
I said I wasn't like into strapless stuff.
Yeah, you went, I personally am not a huge fan of a strapless dress.
And that's purely because I always see people hoiking them up all the time.
Yeah, that's because people need to hoik them up. I don't have that problem.
Yeah, and I don't think I said anything else.
I was into that, like, armour.
Oh, and I don't like,
dress.
Personally, I don't get the asymmetric thing.
No, I didn't do the asymmetric thing.
But
I was very symmetrical.
That's just personal preference. Like, it's never been something that appeals to my eye.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can kind of compare it to. It's like I'm planning a bigger wedding every single year. And the only reason that I find it stressful, because this is going to like contradict probably some of the stuff I say. My absolute mantra for the show is we're not doing brain surgery here, right? We're singing, dancing and acting to entertain people and to make memories for all of those performers. So I think I get all of my stress out the way, poor you, at home with the build up, because I'm yet to find somebody apart from, I think the only person that saw me crack last year was my mum. And honestly, minutes away from opening the door to 600 people to come in. And for the first time ever, I just looked at my mum and was like, I don't know what to do. And she's the only one that I think has seen me crack. And I don't even know if anyone else knows actually what happened. But and it was all fine in the end. But I vow to not be stressed on the show weekend because there's just no point. Like any mistakes at that point is too late anyway. I just want every single performer who crosses my path to be like, this is so much fun. Like that's otherwise, what is the point? But that doesn't mean that I don't have about 3 solid months of, oh my God, how am I going to pull this off?
Yeah, but we'll get there.
We will. It's going to be fab. Whoop, whoop. Right, question number 1. This is an interesting one. How do you deal with people's opinions / feedback online?
I think we've delved into this a couple of times already. And there's actually a good point that Sophie made in last week's episode where she says she just doesn't read them.
Such a good bit of advice.
Just ignores it. I think what she said was, because she makes a lot of content online, if she has a video that hits a certain amount of views, at that point she then switches off from it because she knows past a certain point you're going to attract the wrong sort of people. If it gets like millions and millions of views, it's not only then going to be your fans that are watching, it's going to be everyone, and there will be people that just want to tear you down. So she says past a certain point, she shuts it off and just won't look at the comments.
I think you can never, ever, ever better yourself if you already think you're perfect. So if I ever get feedback, and I have had some feedback recently, I will always take a moment with it, because I think sometimes you can like react, your like self-defense kicks in. Yeah. Take a moment with it and remember that actually if that person hadn't have either brought something to your attention or made a constructive criticism, comment or whatever, you'll never ever be able to be better.
But one thing I used to do, which was quite funny on YouTube, a lot of people would put these really lengthy, just like horrible comments that they'd clearly spent a lot of time being like, this is rubbish, this is what's wrong with YouTube. You know what I mean? Like long-winded comments. Funniest thing to do is just delete it. And I know everyone's always like, oh, you can't delete the negative comments. You can't just have the positive ones. Well, no, you can delete the negative comments, because not only does it make you feel great because they've wasted all that time, but also you don't want other people jumping on that bandwagon because it just brings more negativity in. So just take the power away from it and just remove it from your page completely.
Yeah, so that one was from Emma. Thank you, Emma. Then we have from Faye. Do you both come from creative families? Do your close relatives also work in the arts?
No. I'm trying to think if anyone in my family works in the arts.
Well, your
Mum,
sister's
no.
creative.
Sister, yes, kind of. She's a graphic designer. She's not. It's not the arts.
No,
though,
but it's creative.
Yeah, it is creative. She says in the arts.
She's going to be
Faye said the arts.
At you. Do you both come from creative families? Do your close relatives also work in the
Okay,
arts?
so my sister is a graphic designer. That's a very creative job, and she's very good at it. I wouldn't say that's the arts, though.
No.
My dad is a builder, also not in the arts, but he is a very creative man. My mum loves numbers. Boring job.
Wow.
Just kidding. Love you, mum.
Your mum loves cooking.
She loves cooking as well. Creative. Yeah, she loves cooking. Oh, yeah, I suppose that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no.
Short answer.
I wouldn't say I come from a family of people in the arts at all.
No, none of my close family are.
There is a big history of dance in your family, though.
Yeah, that is actually quite an interesting story. But my Nana Pearl, funnily enough, really weird, like full circle story, used to have a community dance school in Caterham.
Well, there you go.
And I think...
So you saying, no, you're the same? You're not at all. You've literally, your nan had a dance school and used to dance.
Yeah, I know. And she literally told me this story really recently. I'm going to try and remember it properly now.
Give her a call now. Give her a call on the pod.
Okay.
Let's get Nanny Pearl on.
Hello, you.
Hello.
It's lovely to hear your voice.
And you. You're actually currently live on our podcast.
Am I?
Yeah, because are you all right, first of all?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Basically, I was just trying to remember the story of your dance school when you were younger.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get it wrong.
Right.
So you were telling me about how there was you had to keep it going for those few dancers, didn't you?
Yes, I was up there dancing and she gave up. And she said, I just sort of took a few of the dancers on.
That's what the lady who ran it gave up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave up altogether. And I just took a few of the dancers on and we used to go around doing shows to the old people and everything. And, yeah, it was good.
And wasn't it right next door to where my school
Right
is now?
next to where you are now in the community centre, yes.
So how many years ago would that have been?
Oh, my goodness me. I wasn't even married then. I would have been in my teens.
In your teens, so what,
Yeah,
20 years ago?
Oh,
20 years ago then?
Oh, yeah, 20 years ago, of course, yeah. I wish.
There you go, we actually had to just stop recording for a bit because just ended up having a long conversation with my nana. So
I've just been sat there having a catch up.
yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, Faye, we don't actually have any close relatives currently in the arts. Like we don't have those connections, do we?
No, but there is a little history in your family.
There is a little bit of a family history there. Next question from Jess, MUA, from 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. If you had to swap jobs for the day, how successful do you think you'd both be? Well, I've seen what you're like teaching this week.
I think the dance school would be a pile of ash on the floor, burnt to the ground.
The mashups would still be banging, but I'm not quite sure about... No, as in the...
I wouldn't be doing them. We're swapping jobs.
Oh my God. So it'd be like me making the mashups.
You'd be doing all of my stuff.
I know how to do a little bit of cut and paste
Sure you do. Yeah,
Logic.
to be fair. Yeah, you do.
A little bit of fading in, fading out.
Yeah, and that's basically all I do.
Yeah. So the mashups would be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, well, yeah. So if you were to take over teaching the school,
I would not be able to deal with that sheer number of kids. I currently teach how many? 8 a week? In total?
4 at a time, yeah.
4 at a time, 8 in total for the week.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, oh, what a tough week. Rage teaches about 300 in a week and just loves it.
I actually don't teach 300 in a week. That's how many are at the school. I don't teach that many, but I don't think you would cope overly well. Would love to see you teach some of the classes, the older Shawnee hips.
Oh, yeah.
Shaky Shawnee hips. Way! How would I do at your job? I mean, I would, at least if you took over my job, there'd be an element of blagging it. Like, you know the Macarena, and you know a few dance moves. I reckon you could make a fun lesson.
Yeah, I could make a fun lesson.
Whereas
and if someone said to you, oh, yeah, I like that mix, but could you compress my vocal a bit less?
I know how to compress. Yeah, like zip up a folder. I can do that. Tell us more about Nala. The process.
Oh, that is a very, very nice topic.
I haven't finished.
Sorry.
The process, how old she is, breed, how you rescued her, etc.
Okay, starting with the breed.
We don't know.
Your guess is as good as ours, to be honest. She definitely has potentially a bit of shepherd in her with her colouring. She molts like a husky. She talks like a husky.
Hello.
But
We're talking about you.
So the interesting thing about it is that we rescued her, and all of her brothers and sisters were rescued from the streets of Romania together with their mum. So we don't actually know the breed, but what we do know is that one of her sisters had a DNA test, and God knows how accurate they are.
Yeah.
But what came back on those DNA tests is Anatolian Shepherd dog, which was the main one, which would count for her colouring. The second breed was a husky, and the third most dominant breed was a papillon, which is a tiny little French chihuahua-y, like fluffy thing. You know, the ones with
like
the pointy
a toy
fluffy
dog,
ears?
yeah. We rescued her from a charity called the Pack Project, which is a Romanian-based charity.
Amazing charity. If anyone is looking to rescue a Romanian dog, hopefully we can get Laura on to talk about.
Yeah, watch this space, because we have potentially penciled in the founder of the charity, which is going to be such an incredible story to tell.
Yeah.
Nala is 3 years old now. Well, I think their guesswork is pretty accurate.
We got her as a puppy. We got her about 4 months old. So she survived 3 months on the streets. Her mum amazingly kept them all alive for 3 months. And then they were rescued at 3 months old and brought into they have a sister charity in Romania. I think it's called Care for Dogs Romania. Yeah. And she was there for about a month, getting all her jabs, getting ready to come to the UK. And then she made the long old drive all the way from Romania.
She drove herself.
She drove herself and her family all the way from Romania to Folkestone, where we picked her up. And all of her brothers and sisters are scattered around the country, all in lovely, lovely homes.
But the process, because Jess asked about the process, it was a very extensive process. It would have obviously been easier for us to go down buying a bred dog.
But there's too many dogs out there that need homes.
But also I think that's one of the main issues with why there needs to be more in place for bred dogs, because the fact it's too easy to just get one and they're going to the wrong homes.
Thank you for blocking my shot, Nala. You know this bit's all about you, don't you? So you're making it very, very apparent that you are here. But the greatest thing about rescues is that they give just as much love as any other dog. If anything, they love you more because you have literally saved their life. And I will say this, if you're buying a dog purely based upon how it looks, in my opinion, you shouldn't get a dog. Dogs are to be loved regardless of how they look. I think we're just lucky that she's very beautiful.
Yeah, we are.
We didn't know she was going to be, though.
Nope. You could have been a right old rotter and we still would have loved you.
And trust me, at times, she can be a right old rotter. But for the most part, she is weirdly human in her interactions. And she just loves attention, as you can see.
Yeah.
So, if anyone out there is looking to get a dog, please, please, please just consider rescuing and consider one of these foreign charities, because the care that dogs receive in some of the Eastern European countries, they're not treated as kindly as we do in this country. So if a dog is on the cards for you, then just look into it, especially the Pack Project UK on Instagram.
Right, Sophie asks, thoughts on AI and modern future in technology?
You don't have anything to do with AI, really, do you?
No.
I use it for a lot of the dance school stuff, for a lot of the podcast stuff, actually. AI has some of the best tools. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've used a lot of ChatGPT for the website, because ChatGPT can be a better writer than I ever could. So basically, I'll write something, I'll fully write out what I want to say on the website, and then I'll put it into ChatGPT, because SEO, search engine optimization, is an important thing these days. Whack it into ChatGPT and be like, rewrite this with search engine optimization in mind, and it basically gives me something that's written by someone way more capable than me, and it optimizes it so that we are listed better in search engines. So that's how I use it for websites and like copy and things like that. And then also for video content, I've started using an AI called Opus, which you basically upload the full-length videos of these podcasts, and it will find really good little segments that could potentially have some virality on social media, and you can then edit like the ins and outs. If it hasn't got it quite right, you can edit it and make it more your own. But it gives you like a blueprint to start with. So I think AI is incredible if used in the right way. Right, so Jodie asks, hey both, I would love to hear a bit about how you found navigating running a business at the start. I feel like that part of it could be a massive stopper for people. Where did you learn about tax returns, filing accounts with Companies House, the fun stuff?
I think if you're somebody that wants to like start a business and you think about all of that stuff, I can totally see why it would put you off. I am not ashamed to say that when I started my first ever business, if you can call it that, running my own fitness classes, I didn't have a clue about any of that. I went and bought myself a physical
it was in and out book.
Money in, money out book. So people would pay me $5 on the door to come in. I'd get home, I had a little cash box. I was so trusting at the beginning. The box was just open on the door.
I remember that, yeah.
I literally would
People could just drop their money in.
Just drop your $5 in. And it wasn't until I actually had a client who didn't pay me for weeks. And it was then that I'd get home and I'd have like a register for health and safety reasons, and I'd count up the money. And every week I was like, I'm a $5 short. And it's quite funny now looking back that it was like a bit of a detective mystery of, I know someone.
Did you figure out who it was?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's sad actually, because I never wanted it to be. I wanted it to stay like that, trusting that people could just come in, drop their $5, and it was all about the fitness class and not about the money, which, God, it really wasn't. It paid pennies. But when you started like your businesses, you were awful with money management.
Well, it's more that I just wanted to do the fun thing, and the money, I wish that could just be left to someone else to deal with. Like, let the accountant deal with that stuff. And I did have an accountant then when I first started earning money on YouTube. I had to find an accountant quick.
Yeah.
And I did. And God, you should have seen the state of the books that I gave him, because I just wasn't that. I probably lost a bit of money because I just wasn't really on it with my expenses as much.
Yeah.
And I probably could have saved myself a bit of tax, but at the same time, I was just so into the creative side of it that I guess I dropped the ball on what I could potentially have claimed.
Yeah.
So nowadays, having an accountant, and I guess it's more about the years that go by in business. You learn more.
Yeah.
You learn what is acceptable. You learn what can be claimed, what can't be claimed. And it's time is definitely one of the best tools in business.
What I'd say to Jodie is don't let the finance part of things put you off running a business, but be prepared to be overwhelmed, to have to learn, and to make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. You can be overwhelmed by it. You can be like, oh my God, this seems like a lot. But actually, down to the bare minerals. Bare minerals?
Bare minerals, that's a makeup brand.
Oh, is it? down what am I trying to say? The bare minimum. The bare minimum.
The bare bones of it.
Down to the very, very foundations, it is quite a simple thing. Yeah. You manage what's coming in, you manage what's going out, and you tell the tax man, and he'll tell you how much you've got to pay. And that is how simple it is, really. And the first thing you budget in is get yourself an accountant, because there is a reason that they have trained for years and years.
Yeah, because they can save you money.
They can save you money.
My one's incredible if anyone wants a recommendation. Shout out, Victor.
If he's listening, give us a discount.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to read out a lovely message from a friend of mine called Dan, who listened to Jess's episode. I can't believe I spent 47 minutes today forklifting and learning about the pathway into the makeup industry. People are listening, Rach, and that's what I really, really like, is that Dan works for a stage and lighting company, I believe. I always think about the line from Beauty School Dropout, which is a song from Greece. And he said, sums up my career so far. You've got the dream, but not the drive.
Do you know what, though?
What part of the song is that?
You've got the dream, but not the drive.
Oh, yeah.
Pack up the things and stuff and go back to high school. Do, 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 do.
Beauty school dropout.
Beauty school dropout. Well, this is not going to become a singing podcast.
No, but that's good lyric for this podcast. The dream but not the drive.
But yeah, I reckon that's why loads of people...
The drive is important. The drive is important.
That's it for this week's episode. Thank you for listening and for watching. We'll be back again next Wednesday. But until then, do not forget to like, follow and subscribe on all our social platforms at...
What Was I Made For? Pod.
And don't forget to send us an email to...
whatwasImadefore@gmail.com.
Please leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening on. We will see you again next week when we will be trying to answer the big question...
What was I made for? Peace and love to your friends and family on this fine Wednesday afternoon.
Sean, we just scripted this end bit and now you're vamping at the end. Like, that was the point of scripting this, is so that it was streamlined at the end. And what are you doing all that? Bye. What Was I Made For is a Reynolds Studios production.
Go back to high school. Beauty school dropout.
Where's it gone? Oh, there we go. Right, where are you? You need to put this somewhere to read it out.
Beauty school dropout.